What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today's video is on Power Rangers Dino Charge. So, today's episode is Return of the Caveman. This episode was pretty major. It introduced a lot of new concepts, things that we'll probably see in the future, and some stuff that just overall is really important, like a lot more background on Koda. Now, as I said before, I wanted to see more on Chase. I expect in the next episode or so we'll see that, but regardless, this was still a really good episode, and believe me, I understand the last episode, though it didn't have a huge amount of detail about Koda, it definitely did have some emphasis on him. So, it's understood. Anyway, what ends up happening in this episode is that we first see Koda dreaming. We don't necessarily know at the very beginning of the episode that he was dreaming, but yeah, he was dreaming. And he's dreaming of his past where he's like chipping away at some rock in the caves that he lived in. And as he chips away, eventually he finds the blue energem. When he removes the blue energem, he then hears like a tiger attacking this boy that he knows, and it's not clear as to whether or not he's like the brother or if he's just a kid that he knows. But Koda, regardless, after hearing the boy scream for help from Koda, since obviously they know each other, Koda ends up rescuing the boy, and they end up falling into this cave. Because he ended up grabbing that energem, the energem power keeps him alive. He ends up falling, but he doesn't end up being killed because the energem keeps him eternal. As you may remember from my previous episode, I believe it was, or it might have been the second episode. I believe it was the previous one. Don't remember for a fact, but you guys probably do if you guys have watched my previous ones. Anyway, what ends up happening then is that as then he wakes up because he ends up hearing the boy screaming Koda, and then suddenly he wakes up. He's like, oh, and then he's like sweating a little bit. You know, he's tired. It's all that anxiety, whatever. So then suddenly he comes out of where he rests normally, and he finds the others being talked to by Kendall, who Kendall is actually introducing them to their new Dino Cycle, so that will be their new vehicle that they'll be using, and expect to see those in toy stores, if not today, soon enough. Then what happens is that Koda needs to test his. Koda is uncomfortable, and Koda does not know how to really ride very well, as many people know. He's not big on technology. He's a caveman, so new technology is not the first thing that comes to mind for him. And yeah. So anyway, what happens then is Chase tries to comfort him, saying, don't worry, we're going to help you learn how to ride a bike. We know that you're not the best at this. We know that you don't love modern technology all that much. But don't worry, we're going to help you out. Then what ends up happening is that there's this monster that comes in, and he basically ruins the sentimental moment they're basically having. And when this moment happens, Chase ends up being captured by this monster. This monster is going to be known as Slammer. Expect to see him in Toy Store soon enough. If you guys watched the Toy Fair that happened in New York, from different channels like Pixel Dan's channel and some other people, they showed that they showed different stuff. It wasn't really for Pixel Dan's channel that they showed Power Ranger stuff, but there were some other channels that actually had some Power Ranger stuff shown, and they showed that a lot of villains are going to be brought in, and one of the villains that I saw was him. He was shown as a toy that they'll have, and what they kind of specify is that every single time that there'd be a new villain, they'd basically put out a new toy. So expect to see him soon enough if he isn't already in stores, Slammer, if you really liked his villain, or just in general. So anyway, what happens is that the monster ends up capturing Chase with this crate. Like, Slammer's supposed to be like a police officer, and he grabs him, he puts him in a cage. This cage ends up teleporting him to this cave that where he's being kept. And then what happens is that Koda tries to fight off against the monster a little bit, and then there's this boy that comes in out of nowhere, riding on a bike. As the boy comes in, Slammer throws the crate. This time, Koda sees the boy. He doesn't know what to do at that point because he can't just fight and like fall back on the boy or something like that. He doesn't want to hurt the boy, so he tries to protect the boy so that the boy doesn't get hurt. In the process, he captures both of them, and they end up in that cave. Due to the fact that that boy was riding on a bike, that the crate that he caught them in, that Slammer caught them in, it ends up like the grates end up bending and they're able to get out, the two of them. Sadly, due to the fact that the cave that they're in prevents them from morphing and prevents them from using their communicators, they can't just they can't destroy the crates that they're in, and there's nothing they can really do. They have to get out manually out of the cave, and Slammer realizes at one point that they aren't where he thought that he thought that they would be in their cages still. They weren't. So as you expected, they try to go out. This time, what happens is that the boy, he ends up breaking his leg, and Koda promises to help him. Now, as I said before, Koda's not that big on modern technology. This boy basically hands him this phone that has like GPS tracking and all that, and says, "This is where we are. If we go out this way, we'll find our way out." And the thing is that Koda's so accepting of this boy, and they really could have made it really interesting. They really could. I mean, I know that they're probably not going to do it, but I mean, if they wanted to educate him, use children. Obviously, they're clearly trying to focus it towards children, and it makes sense. I understand it. Believe me when I say this. Like the boy is one of his biggest influences, because that boy reminds him of that boy from his past, and they kind of say it's his brother, but it's not really confirmed. Anyway, what ends up happening? Not the boy Peter, the boy that I'm talking about now. The boy from his past, anyway. What ends up happening is that they end up climbing out of the cave, trying to maneuver away from Slammer, who eventually catches up to them. But as they're doing this, eventually we end up getting a shot of Kendall trying to explain to the Rangers that, like, the other Rangers, Riley, Shelby, and Tyler, that they haven't been, that Chase and Koda haven't called us or anything recently, and they were worried about where they might be. What ends up happening then is that Tyler and Riley are told to go out on the dino cycles to go try to find them, and so they do so. One thing I forgot to mention, though, was for those of you that are Sentai fans, this may not be as important for those that are American fans, but it might become a bigger thing over time. So the character in Japan known as Lucky Euro makes his first appearance in this episode, because what happens is that Poisandra gets annoyed because she's like, "Oh, Sludge, you should stop focusing on the energems. We should do something else. This is not fun. I need you to focus on me," or whatever, because like she wants to get married to him or whatever. The thing is that luckily for Sledge, he has Wrench, because Wrench ends up building this robot out of other robots to become her friend and distract her, basically. That robot's name is Curio. Curio is the equivalent to Lucky Euro. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops as a character. And I mean, he doesn't say much of anything. His voice is fortunately nothing unusual. It's not ridiculously high, but it's not ridiculously low either. As long as they make it like on the higher pitched voice, but not necessarily like super high, it's good. I don't want him to be like this deep voice. I'm glad they didn't go with the deep voice. If they did a deep voice, it would have been so confusing. Oh my god, I would have been so depressed, because I am a Sentai fan and I'm also a Ranger fan, but I would have been so upset if they did that. Oh my god, I would have been beyond depressed. So anyway, we get to see that. So now we know Lucky Euro is in the show. Great, thumbs up to you guys. Finally putting him out. So then what happens is that we end up seeing eventually Koda ends up getting out of the cave, and he has like his shirt ripped and everything, and he walks out in slow motion, and he brings him over to Kendall. He's like, he needs hospital, he needs medical help, and Kendall goes and tries to like grab him and move slowly, and then the boy's like, Koda, help me. And like, it's very dramatic, and it's a little over, just a little overdone. I don't know. I mean, maybe just a little overdone with the slow motion. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. So anyway, what happens is that Kendall tries to bring him there or whatever. Coda feels something, of course, for this boy. What ends up happening is we get to see some fighting going on with the Vivixes. We get to see some fighting with Slammer. There's all that good stuff. All that good stuff happens. Coda's all epic. He's all tough. He's, you know, his shirt's ripped and all that. And then he ends up saying it's morphin time, and then they all morph or whatever. Wrong word, wrong catchphrase. I love this. So you know, they all morph or whatever. Forget what I just said a second ago. So they all morph, and they all fight the monsters. Then eventually, Sledge sees that the monster gets destroyed, and they want to go rescue Chase. But what happens is that Sledge ends up like shooting a beam, and they're calling the beam for this. Like, you know, there's always different things that they use to make them bigger. This time they're calling it the Magna Beam, and it's gonna shoot down at them from space and make them bigger. So then they go the Tri-Stego formation, which is like the normal Dino Charge Megazord. And then what happens is that for once Riley gets to use his mech, and it's the Raptor Zord, and the Raptor Zord ends up combining with them, so it replaces the Tricerazord, forming the Stego Raptor Megazord. So now we have the Stego Raptor Megazord. So that's awesome. It's basically just removing the arm. So now he has like a sharper arm. That's good. That's cool. So, you know, one more added Zord. That's gonna be great. I mean, the next episode will be fun too. But one at a time. The Stego Raptor is awesome, and that was a battle obviously with Slammer. And what happens is that Tricera goes after Chase, drills into the cave that Chase is being kept in, and Chase is saved by Tricera, and they end up winning. In the end, it's all good. Then we get to see a scene with the boy talking to his friends, like, oh my god, there was this guy that had this torch, and he used it this way, and he was like a caveman. And then all of his friends are like, oh, you're so cool. Oh my god, you got this awesome person that you met. And then what happens is that Coda and him like hug it out, and they're all like, yay, I get to see you, yay. Thank goodness you're alive. I thought you died, maybe, Coda. Oh, thank goodness. And then what happens is that Coda ends up bringing a bike to the boy, since the boy's bike obviously broke from, you know, it being put in the crate or whatever. And the boy's like, you know what, I'm gonna teach you how to ride a bike. How's that sound? And Coda's like, okay, because the thing is that the boy says, I'm gonna protect you, because the thing was that he protected him, so it's smart. It's just a very good. Okay, so overall, this episode was very good. As you can see, this was one that I could really just. I had a pretty good idea of things. As you can see, I did this later than I usually do things. Sadly for me, when as of late, I've had a little bit of family stuff going on right now in regard to family members not being so well. So I wasn't able to do stuff at the times that I would have liked to have, and put things out at better times. But as of now, though, I'm glad that I managed to do this review. Overall, this episode was great. I can't wait till the next one. These episodes are looking excellent. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. These 4 episodes have been so good, and they've done it so well, and they've worked so well, and they're giving a lot of character development. That's something that we haven't really seen in a while, and that's something that people always complain about. There is story, there is character development. This is not just guns and violence, this is not just explosions, this is not what people always think of with a lot of these modern seasons, where it's just always like explosion, 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 explosion. No, there's actual story now. We're actually getting good stuff here. This is not Super Mega Force. This is not the seasons that were considered, this is actually like a season that, like, I'll tell you this much right now, all these 4 episodes, I would actually go back and watch these episodes. Like, like a lot of these modern seasons, I've watched them at least once, but most of them, I wouldn't go back more than once. Really, I wouldn't. Like, would I really ever go back to Megaforce? Probably not. Would I go back to Super Megaforce? Maybe for the finale, but I don't know about much more than that. I mean, I might do it, but I don't know. if anything, I'll go back like very rarely. These episodes, though, I'm loving them. I mean, I'm happy with these episodes. I hope you guys are enjoying them too. Again, this has been Crazy Samurai 71. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Goodbye, guys.